you said you were aware that you were that close to the 1,000 points, but how big of a deal is it to you? Is it a big deal now, or is it going to be a bigger deal later?
I mean, I think it's kind of a dream that everyone has. I mean, whether you're in high school or college, I think, it's kind of just a personal goal to get 1,000 points. I mean, a lot of people can't say that they've accomplished that, and I think for me, it's a big deal now, but I don't think it's as big of a deal as it will be for me later. I mean, like when I have kids and grandkids, it'll kind of be something that I can, say, well, I did get 1,000 points, because it's not, a lot of people can't say that they've gotten that, so.
Like Coach said, I wouldn't be able to do it without my teammates, and it's a great thing for the team, and we're a second-half team, and obviously it showed today.
You were quick to hand out praise to your teammates, talk about the team win and all of that kind of stuff. Where did you learn that? At what point of your career did you learn that?
I mean, I think this is kind of just how it was, brought up. I mean, basketball is not an individual sport. I mean, it's a team sport, and like I said, I wouldn't have been able to get the 1,000 points if I didn't have the passes or the defense or the steals or everything that my teammates, get for me. So, I mean, without them, I wouldn't have been able to achieve anything.
Your mom and dad teach you that, though? I mean, when you talk about growing up earlier, is that from your mom and dad?
Yeah, I mean, they've always just said, it's always a team thing, and you can't get anywhere without, hard work and the help of other people. And so I think that kind of just associates with basketball and the rest of my life, too.
There was a point against Upper Iowa where my wife, who was doing colors, said, Chelsea is getting upset because of some things that were going wrong. Do you get upset, and does it help you play better when you're upset if you do?
I do get upset sometimes, and I have been trying to work on not getting as upset, and, sometimes I take it out on some of my teammates like Cassie, because I know that I can, get into her a little bit as opposed to some of the other, yeah, sometimes you'll catch me yelling at her a little bit more than anyone else, but, yeah, sometimes, like Coach, she probably has always said that she, rips into me at halftime sometimes, and it makes me play a better second half, and sometimes, I just kind of coast along until that little fire hits me, and then it kind of just ignites me a little bit for the second half, so.
I can remember, and I think it was last year, where you had, I think, a particularly bad game against Rockhurst.
Yeah.
And I think it was the next game out where you hit your career high. Are we talking about the same thing there?
Yeah, I didn't play well against Rockhurst when we traveled to Rockhurst, and me and Coach Kress kind of talked about that the next day, and she said, you weren't there offensively, but you were still doing the things I needed you to do defensively, and so I was upset because I felt like I let my team down offensively, and then when they came here and we played them here, it was a little different story. Like you said, I had my career high, and, I didn't play a horrible first half, but I didn't play a very great one either. And, Coach kind of ripped into everyone because we were losing to them anyway, which is a game that we should have been winning anyway. And so she kind of ripped into everyone and kind of gave me what I needed, and then the second half was a little better.
You've had such a great career here, but again, reminiscing a little bit, I remember there was a string, there were about a 2 or 3 minute stretch against Bellarmine in the playoff game last year, where I think you had a steal and a score, another steal, a three-pointer, and it seemed like it went on and on, about a 9-point run there. You know what I'm talking about? What was going through your head when all that was happening?
I think it's just we haven't really gotten any respect in the conference and in D2 right now, and I think, Coach always tells us where we're ranked in the, conference and where everyone sees us, and it's never as high as we should be. Right. And I think that game was kind of a statement game for us as a team, and kind of, that was our first, I guess, round into the tournament, and I mean, we had to win that to get there, and I was hoping that we'd get a little more respect by the time that we got there. And, this year we're still kind of picked pretty low in the conference, and so hopefully we can just build on that. And it was really just kind of a statement game for us, I think.
Coach Cresta said that she thinks that you're an awful lot like she is, and I think that maybe at times that's caused some head-butting just because, opposites do attract.
Yeah.
You agree with that? Is she kind of fiery like you are kind of fiery?
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And, I mean, you can just tell our personalities are a lot alike. We're both sarcastic. I'm sure you've dealt with that.
No, Chelsea, I haven't.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're both a little sarcastic, and I think we're both so competitive that, we want the best for the team and for ourselves and everything. And so I think sometimes we do bump heads a lot. But ultimately, I think we have, the same goals. So,
you want to tell the story about the locker room on Saturday and the rebounding? Because I don't think people understand maybe what goes on in a locker room with Coach Kress. I mean, I've never been there, but you can tell that story about the rebounding?
Well, I mean, she just kind of walked in and wrote a number on the board, and it happened to be number 4, and she said, what do you think this number means? And we kind of all just sat there like, do we respond? I don't really know. And then, Connor kind of whispered rebounds, and she was like, what does it mean? And kind of raised her voice a little bit more, and we were like, rebounding? And she's like, yeah, we have 4 rebounds, they have 19. And I think it kind of set our tempo and what we were going to do the second half. We still got out rebounded, but it wasn't as bad. I mean, anytime you have 4 rebounds as a team in the first half, and the fact that we weren't losing by 5 kind of said a lot for our defense anyway.
All right, enough basketball. What are you going to do in your life when you're done with Jewell?
I have no idea.
Really? Seriously, none?
No, that's the question. This summer I got my real estate and my insurance license, and so...
Your mom's a real estate agent?
Yeah, my dad's an insurance agent, so I have that set aside if I want to go back to do any of that or whatever, and I would like to, stay involved with basketball somehow, whether...
Coaching,
playing, doing something, so we'll kind of see.
Yeah, I see you with ice packs and all that kind of stuff after practices and after games. Well, what is your injury situation?
I have plantar fasciitis in both of my feet, and it's just like inflammation in my tendons, and it runs all the way up my feet and my legs, and then it's going into my shins, and just little injuries like that. So
I've kidded you about this. You're getting old.
I really
it's not the years, it's the mileage. And
yeah, it's caught up to me.
You've ever stopped to count how many games you've played in?
No, it'd probably be more of the minutes than the games. I mean, we kind of talked about that as a team on the traveling the other day. We were like, I don't know. Because when we played at Northwest, we played Saturday and then Sunday, and, Sunday we're all just like, oh, my gosh, our bodies hurt, and, we're only 21, 22 years old, and it feels like we're a lot older than that, and so...
How painful is it, by the way?
Some days it hurts getting out of bed, I'm not going to lie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, your hips pop, and your feet pop, and, so...
Your mom, your dad, your family, they travel all the time to see you. And they got it at 5 o'clock the other morning to be here to see your game. Tell me about your family a little bit and what that's meant to you over the years.
That was one of the reasons that, I knew when we went into the conference we'd be able to play, USI and U of I and all of the places that are closer to home. And, like you said, my family's been almost to every single game. And I think every year I've had at least someone that I've known at every game. And to me, that just means the world. My family has raised me. My family's the reason I do half the things I do. And we're a close-knit family. And, I couldn't ask for a better family.
Yeah, they're great people. They really are. And they were awful excited when you hit that 1,000 points. Could you hear them?
Yeah, I looked up and, because I got stepped on. I don't even remember who. I think it was Christian or someone. I fell down, and then someone was jumping over me, so I was ducking, and I looked up, and I knew they had signs, and I know my family, so I figured something was going to happen, and they were super excited, and I was glad I could get it while they were here.
I asked Cassie the other day when she was in for this interview, what's your legacy going to be? What is your legacy going to be here when your basketball career is over?
I kind of just hope that, Coach Broughton kind of always makes a joke, and when, he tells people about me, he's like, well, she's 5'0" and can do some things that, 6' girls can do. And so for me, I think it's just, hopefully I, worked hard enough and people saw what I could accomplish being, as small as I am. And, like I said earlier, we don't get a lot of respect for as a school, and hopefully, the program can build on that and just kind of keep going in the right direction.